Doc Favors here. Welcome to another broadcast here on our channel. As always, guys, let me say thank you to all the people who continue to support us. We are officially launched our program, and stick around to the end. I'll say more about that. Number two, you all don't fall for any spam in the comment section. You know, these people out here are going to some extremes, making up fake accounts and everything, trying to get you to follow them and do whatever. Don't fall for it, man. You know, guard yourself, guard your account. Don't be clicking and sharing links because they're just trying to hack your stuff. And then last but not least, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And we appreciate all of that. Now, today, I want to give you something that really changed my life. And it's talking about decision and being able to make the most important decision for your life, okay? Now, years ago, I had a mentor and studied this mentor, and we used to have conversations about the difference in terms of impoverished mindsets and wealthy mindsets, right? And one of the things that we learned is that one of the best books that we put in people's hands is this book right here. You know, you all familiar with it. I'll show it to you all the time. And it is this book here called Think and Grow Rich. All right. We read this book all the time. And the reason we give this book out because the principles that Napoleon Hill comes up with, you all, are phenomenal. And one of which that I read every year, all the time, is a chapter or about the subject of decision. And decisions is so important that Hill actually dedicates a whole chapter to it. Okay. And in the chapter, you all, he talks about procrastination. Now, procrastination, you all, is a very interesting thing because it can come up and creep up and side block, and you really won't know because you're not paying attention or you're not aware of it. But procrastination, he says, Napoleon Hill says, is the opposite of decision, which is a common enemy which practically every man must conquer. You will have an opportunity to test this capacity and make quick and definite decisions. Now, we learn, my mentor and I, we learn. One of the things we learned from this and put it to the test is that people who think on a certain level of poverty, right? And if this is you, don't let it be offensive to you, but I just want to share this with you because it might just help you out. But people who are on that level tend to make decisions very slow and change them very fast because they're going with the flow, they're going with everybody thinks. Wealthy people, on the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, tend to make decisions fast, definite, and quickly, and change them slow because they've developed what we call a habit of reaching these decisions. And that habit, you all, we understand that is part of the mindset, part of the paradigm, if you will. But the habits, you all, of learning and dealing with decisions can change your life. So today I want to share with you one of the most important decisions that I made in my life. You know, I'll give you a little background on this. When I was younger, my mother, we grew up in poverty. So this is why I know what I'm talking about. And my mother used to teach me certain things at a young age, 6 or 7 years old, how to balance her checkbooks, how to pay the bills, organize, how to budget and everything, because she made up in her mind that I was not going to be like everyone else who had to struggle like she had to struggle, you know, on welfare, barely making it, walking everywhere, and didn't have cars and stuff back then, right? And she did a great job. Trust me, she has since went on to be to glory in transition, but she's still here in spirit. So what am I saying to you? Through the teaching and some of the things that she gave me, at that point in time, you all, I made up my mind that I was going to make something of myself and be a success. I was going to be a man of my word. I was going to be successful, and I was not going to have a problem with finances, okay, with money. And so growing up and going through college and you know, trying this business and trying that business, you know, like everybody else, some good, some not so good, right? We keep it positive. But one thing that I did learn, the one decision that I made, I believe when I was around 23, my first legit business, I made a decision, you all, from going through all of that. And I want to share a few steps with you all. The most important decision you can make, step number one, you all, is did you make a decision to become an investor, not just a consumer? You all listen to me. When I was in business at an early age and I used to watch my mentors, and you know, you have several mentors in life, right? That's why I say ain't no sense of calling names. But you got several mentors, and on this particular piece, it was a cleaning business, and they taught me how to do a business plan, taught me how to really establish a footing, taught me how to interview employees, right? How to do payroll and how to balance that out and everything that needed to go into that whole piece. One thing that I did learn, I said, you know what? It is a lot of work running an owner-operated business. But I thought to myself, what's the difference between myself and where they are? How is it that they can teach me how to do it, then they go play golf while I go clean these buildings? Do I see the mindset? I said, something's wrong with this. I have to learn how to do that. How do I get to your position? And one of the things that came up is you have to understand the difference between a consumer and an investor. Consumer, they like to buy things. Well, we all buy things, don't get me wrong. But you got to understand the mindset of a consumer is different from the mindset of an investor. Consumer, we get paid, we want to go shopping, we want to go look good, we want to get everything that we have to prove that we've got a certain place in life. But the investors look at money, you all, as a tool to make more money, to live a lifestyle that doesn't require everything or as many work hours, because they understand you don't trade time for money. I hope y'all caught that. And so that shift happened when I said, okay, how can I become an investor? That's when I got into network marketing, trying to figure out, okay, how can I build? How can I utilize leverage in terms of time with other people? The whole nine, y'all. I'm talking about business and investments really grabbed hold to me, right? So with that being said, the second thing is, have you committed a specific amount of funds? Now, we call this, you all, your emergency fund. Some call it that. I call it a freedom fund, because if you want to have a life of freedom, you've got to have some funds stored up and set aside somewhere. So that freedom fund says what? We have a concept that we call DCA, dollar cost average. That simply means when you develop your investment portfolio, what platforms you're going to use to grow your money over a period of time. Once you figure that out, find out what's best for you that fits your lifestyle and your comfortability, then you begin to dollar cost average. That means you begin every time you get paid through cash flow, you putting something in there, right? And over the process of time, it begins to build and build and build. The next thing you know, over the course of some amount of years, you got a nice little nest egg going on, right? Whether it's a trust fund, whether it's a IRA, whether it's a self-running trust, or whether you got a platform that we use. You got Schwab House, you got TTA trading, you got even Robinhood, y'all. You got certain platforms that you can use to invest in over time to make your money work for you, right? So if you haven't started one of those, then you definitely need to do that. Another thing that you would want to consider, you all, and this is wasn't on my notes, but you want to consider establishing some type of LLC. All right, that's going to give you different tax breaks. Once we got the LLCs going and then made the switch from to S Corp from LLC to S Corp, then everything changes, you all. I'm telling you, because you got to pay your taxes. But there's a way around certain things, and you can't get mad when you're savvy enough or have people who are savvy enough to understand the tax break and learn how to operate within those tax codes. Very important, okay? So now, get your LLC. Now, the third thing is, have you automated? Now, this is one of the most important things on the checklist, you all, because when you start off in business, it's fine. Notice how when you're an employee, you may work 8 hours to 9 hours a day. It's not bad, but you get the rest of your time. But when you're a self-employed owner-operator, you tend to work more hours because you're doing much, because you really want your business to get off the ground. So you have to write in your exit clause or exit strategy, guys. Contingency plan, you got to write these things in, because sooner or later, you're not going to have time to spend the money that you're making because you're so tired from working all the time. And not to mention, you're missing valuable time, especially if you got kids and family and things of that nature, right? Starting a business can be gruesome at the wrong time in your life, okay? So what do? We look for ways for business opportunities that's almost what we call turnkey, which means you want to automate this piece. So if you don't have it now, you don't have that set up, remember, you can go and get these systems. So a company like Schwab House, Ameritrade, even I think Chase do it. You can now put it on autopilot and say every time my check comes or every week, I want a certain amount of funds to automatically get transferred from my account to my investment account, my brokerage account. And it begins to trade, especially for you folks who understand crypto, things of that nature. Y'all, this is some of the things that we do in terms of generating funds, those multiple streams of income, investments, all right? And I'm really giving you all some information that if you take it seriously and go through this checklist, you're going to see a change in your financial situation, okay, your landscape. Because when you got these things in place, truthfully, you all, it gives you more confidence, all right? Now, the last thing I want to share is the amount that you're going to start committing to. Start somewhere, okay? Even if it's a small amount that you've committed to, no matter what happens, find a way to start storing up something, to start operating in this. Because trust me, you may not see the power of compound interest now, but it is the eighth wonder of the world. Could be the ninth wonder. Some say the imagination is the greatest nation, the eighth wonder, but compound interest, you all, once you find a company or something that you can compound in, my Novatechians, y'all know what I'm talking about. My Success Club people, you all know what I'm talking about. You know, those who are in mindset, coaching with Doc Favors, you're going to find out what I'm talking about. Yo, compound interest, you all, can really change your life. But first, you got to make the most important decision of your life, and that is to become an investor versus a consumer. Doesn't matter if you don't have everything in place to do it now. I'm just giving you food for thought. Work toward it. And if you need any help, anything we can do, just let me know, okay? So once again, this is Dr. Favors, you all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.